Going on, boys? Another day, another stream, man. We were recapping an absolutely wild weekend here in the NFL because it was nuts. Some crazy games occurred. A lot of firings and hirings still happening with the teams that did not make the playoffs or have just been eliminated. So we're kind of just going to go in chronological order here. But we're going to start off with the first game that we saw on Saturday, and that was the Buffalo Bills losing to the Denver Broncos um, on the road in overtime, 33-30. That was an awesome game. I loved watching that. It was really fun watching it. I will say though, and I think everybody knows this, Josh Allen was not very good. He did not play fantastic at all. 4 turnovers will not win you a playoff game, Joshua. I'll tell you that much. I mean, that fumble there at the end of the first half was a pretty big difference maker. And that kind of set the tone, I think, for the rest of the game and kind of just killed all the Bills' momentum that they had. James Cook fumbled it too. So 5 turnovers is not going to win you a ball game. So there's that. You look over at the Broncos now, they played a pretty great game. I mean, Bo Nix showed some inexperience, but, that's fine. But then Bo Nix just broke his foot and he's out for the season. So now the Broncos have to rely on Jarrett Stidham in the AFC Championship game against New England Patriots, which is absolutely wild. So, biggest game of Jarrett's life is this Sunday. So, there's that, I guess. But I really enjoyed watching this game. I was disappointed to see Josh Allen this was probably his worst playoff game that he's played. And they still only lost by 3. So if Josh Allen doesn't turn the ball over maybe one more time or 2 less times, then I think the Bills have a really good shot of winning this game. And we're gonna lead into this, but I'll do that later. But what are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, mine's just to be expected of the Bills. I didn't really think they would win the game. It was close. They put up a good fight, but I kind of figured their defense was going to lose them the game. I mean, their defense always has seemed to lose them the game throughout the year, and that's what happened. I think Josh Allen. A lot of people are complaining about Josh Allen, but if it wasn't for Josh Allen, they wouldn't even have been in the game. Josh Allen kept them in the game,
Yeah.
but he was also the reason why they didn't. I mean, win, to be honest. So he
Yeah.
played fine, in my opinion. But the main takeaway for me is somebody's got to catch the football for the Bills.
Dude.
Brandon
Yeah.
Cooks, you got to hold on
bad.
to that. I don't care you're 37 years old. You're an NFL player. You got to be able to not get the ball stripped from you on that.
Mm-hmm.
I also think, too, that the wide receivers didn't show up whatsoever. They just played terrible. And like I said, the defense didn't do them any favors.
No.
They were far from good. Like, the defense played terrible for the Bills. That's the reason why they lost. I don't care about the penalties. I don't care about the refs, quote unquote, screwing them over. They lost because of their defense. And it's not much new with Buffalo. And I think, I mean, I'm just going to lead into the Sean McDermott firing here. I
Yeah.
think it was a good move at this point because you're
Interesting.
what? You've made the playoffs like 5 straight times or like 5
They
times.
made
And you
they
haven't
made
won
the
a
playoffs
playoff
the
game.
last 8 years. They made the playoffs last 8 years.
Yeah, last 8 years, you haven't won a playoff game. Absolutely embarrassing. At some point, something's got to change. I don't know why they promoted their GM to president. That was the dumbest thing they could have done. I think that was dumber than firing Sean McDermott, honestly, because like he cannot draft players to save his life. But I think that something's got to change for Buffalo, and it's got to start with getting just defense. Period. Defensive line, preferably. I get they have that all of it,
Yeah.
but they need some guys that are just decent. So
Yeah.
that's all I got.
I mean, looking at the Sean McDermott firing, I was very surprised initially. I still am like thinking about why they did this. And I did mention this early on in the season when the Bills were losing these games. I did say, when are we going to look at Sean McDermott?
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of interesting because that was like, I just remembered that, and that was kind of cool. Um, but I'm more concerned about why the GM just got promoted, because I like you said, this dude can't draft for frick. I mean, he's really done nothing. He drafted Keon Coleman. He got his first catch of the year, bro, this year or this last weekend. That's terrible. The wide receiver room for that Bills team is absolutely atrocious, man. I mean, it's bad. They When you have to just rely on James Cook. Now, no disrespect, James Cook. I think he played a very solid game except for the fumble. I mean, you can't just rely on him. And they need to make some moves. I understand they traded away Diggs because he wasn't very happy, uh, which is fine. Go for it. But they really have
He's
done.
getting the best of it now in New England, I
Yeah,
can tell you
he
that.
is. He is. Other than his assault charges, but there's that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Bills, they have to show that they actually want to win this game, because we all saw Josh Allen's interview, how much it
Yeah.
meant to him. That was tough to
Yeah.
watch, and you know how much he wants it. And it's too bad, because I really wanted Josh Allen to go win a Super Bowl this year. I thought this was his best chance, but this Bills organization is doing absolutely nothing to help him out. This, and especially promoting this guy, is absolutely a joke. So I'm hoping that
Yeah.
Josh Allen can be in discussion at least, um, for their new head coach, because I think that's going to be very important, very vital.
Yeah.
I saw Joe Brady's a top candidate for this head coaching job. So
5-12 season incoming if you hire that guy as
it's
head
gonna
coach, I
be
tell you what.
so bad. I don't know why. Okay, I will say Joe Brady, they had a big 3rd and 7 on that last third down on that last drive, in regulation, and they did have a nice little hook and lateral play. So I'll give him that. That was pretty cool. But I don't think that would be a good hiring if that happens.
Oh, frick no.
But
See, the problem with that too, with the firing too, is all the quote unquote good coaches, except for Clint Kubiak, are gone. Like Stefanski, I get he's not great, but he was like the top option in my opinion. One of them. I
yeah, we
mean,
haven't even heard your thoughts on Stefanski getting hired. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about
okay,
that later.
okay.
We'll talk about
But
that later.
Stefanski was probably one of the top options. Robert Saleh was one of the top options.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh was one of the top options. So like you're really working with scraps for head coaches now for
Yeah.
Buffalo. So I honestly I'd rather have Sean McDermott over Mike McDaniel. I'd rather have him over the only head coach I would take over him at this point is Brian Flores. And Brian
Yeah, that's
Flores
true.
is getting a job
I think he's going to
probably
Pittsburgh.
probably as
That's
a
my
Steeler.
bet.
So I mean it's just a bad situation for the Bills. But another thing I want to criticize the GM for is not signing anybody under
Exactly,
the
bro.
age of 35. He only signs old people, dude. Like he signs Von Miller, he signs Brandon Cooks, he signs Josh Palmer. Granted, Josh
He got
Palmer's
Joey Bosa.
Joey Bosa's even old, bro. That guy's
Yeah, he's unk,
at
bro,
least
now.
28, 29. Like the dude can't sign anybody that's under the age of
Yeah.
30. So I just think the Bills I don't think they're ever going to win a Super Bowl in my lifetime, at least. So that's all I got on
In our
that.
life. Wow. Okay.
They've lost 4 Super
They're
Bowls in a row, and they can't make one now.
yeah.
And this was like their best chance, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
they'll get for a while.
you look at what's going to happen next year. The Patriots are going to get better. The Broncos are probably going to get better offensively. The Chiefs, who knows what's going to happen with them? We'll see when Mahomes can come back. Uh,
Yeah,
the
like
Chargers will get better.
let's start with the AFC East though, because like the Jets are.
Yeah,
We
the
know the
Jets are going
Jets
to
are going to get
suck.
better. They can't get much worse.
That's true, but I'm interested to see what they do at quarterback this offseason because Dante Moore
Chambliss,
is staying at Oregon.
Trinidad
I
Chambliss.
think Trinidad is probably their best option, but I
Yeah.
don't know when he would get picked, and I don't know if someone would steal him off the board
They have the Cowboys
instead.
pick, I think, this year,
Don't
don't
do
they?
that. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, they do. They do.
they
You're
do.
right.
They have
You're right.
the Jets have two
You
first
got two
rounders.
firsts.
So, I
Well,
mean,
Chambliss is still appealing for another year, so
he's not winning. He's not winning that case. I hate to break it to him.
but
All right. Anyways, I want to get to that later on in the year. I don't really want to talk about draft stuff at the moment. So
yeah, man, I'm excited for this draft coverage now.
yeah,
Dude,
it's
low key, we gotta do the whole first round. We gotta go live the whole first round.
whole first round on a school night from like what 7 to like 11.
Yeah, who cares?
I mean, I'll do it. I don't care. I'll do it.
I'd be
All right,
hyped.
moving on. What other game you want to discuss?
Let's move on to the next one. Let's get on to the
Bears
straight
and Rams.
belt game. Straight
Bears and
belt
Rams.
game.
Belt?
No, we're going in order. We're going in chronological order.
Okay.
Seattle just absolutely gave it to the 49ers. The 49ers didn't score a touchdown. Brock Purdy and CMC couldn't do anything. And the Seahawks won the game at the kickoff, in my opinion. That was a huge killer. Jonah's been real high on that Seattle special teams, and it's showing, bro. It's showing. I mean, this Seattle team's looking unbeatable right now. So I'm excited to see. I don't really have anything else to say about this game, honestly, other than it was just straight belt. Um, I'm just looking forward to what the NFC Championship's going to bring this weekend. It's the night game, so we'll see about that. But you look at
Yeah.
the Niners got to move away from that electrical facility from where they practice because holy crap, they're so injured and they're never going to do anything if they keep practicing by that electrical thing.
Yeah. I mean, Seattle's clearly the best team right now. It's not even
Yeah.
close. The 49ers, in my opinion, played a really pathetic game.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's funny because one of my buddies in this one group chat said when they were down 14-0, watch the 49ers come back and win. I'm like, are you stupid? Like,
oh, guy.
like, oh, that I found that hilarious that he had the balls to say that the Niners were going to come back against 14-0
And
after
they
that
didn't even
kickoff.
score a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean,
That's so bad.
coast to coast. Well, not technically not coast to coast, but one side of the country to another. Technically, you go to Seattle, you don't even score a touchdown, similar to the Chargers. That's pathetic. Like, you got to score a touchdown. I don't care if you're starting Demarcus Robinson. I really don't care if you're starting Juwan Jennings over Brandon Ayuk. You have to score a touchdown.
In the playoffs, man, you're here for a reason.
Like,
gotta
you
do
have Trent
something.
Williams. There's no excuses. Seattle's not like the Legion of Boom. Well, their defense is good. It's not the Legion of Boom.
It's not
like,
Legion of Boom, bro. But yeah, it's good.
It's good. So Christian McCaffrey too. You got to feel bad for the guy. He's got to be one. He's going to be one of the best players to never win a ring when it comes down to it, in my opinion.
It's true.
He deserves a ring probably out of anybody in the league that hasn't got one yet, in my opinion. I mean, he had 1,000 receiving yard this year, and nobody's giving him credit for it. So, congrats to the Niners. I mean, I think it's might be time to start getting Kyle Shanahan on the hot seat because similar to Sean McDermott, like, what has he done in the playoffs besides blow a 28-3 lead?
Yeah, it's true. Even if he wins Coach of the Year.
Yeah. Like,
if he wins Coach of the Year and they fire him.
Well, they're not going to fire him, obviously.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say
the seat's getting a little warm. The seat's getting a little warm.
Yeah.
It's warm. It's warming up.
I mean, if the Bills have the balls to fire Sean McDermott after
That's true.
winning all these playoff games, the Niners, you got to look at the same thing and be like, you haven't done.
You've been to the Super Bowl twice, and you haven't been able to get it done.
Yeah, 2 times on the Niners, once on the Falcons. You've lost 3 Super Bowls, Kyle. Like, that's up there with the Bills, quite literally. That is literally quite up there with the Bills. It's 3 Super Bowls in 10 years. 3
And you
Super
were
Bowls.
literally 15 minutes away from winning a Super Bowl, and you just decided to throw the ball
Yeah.
instead of milk the clock. But
Yep.
yeah, it's whatever.
Good job, Kyle.
Great job. Jonah will never forgive Kyle Shanahan.
All right.
So that moves on to Jonah's depressing game of the day. His Houston Texans that he was so high on all season long, they finally slipped up after winning 9 games in a row.
Yeah,
They
big
finally
time
slipped
too.
up. CJ Stroud with one of the worst games I've ever seen. Holy crap, 4 interceptions in the first half. But that defense kept him in the game. And if you think about it, the Texans really only lost by 5 points
Yeah.
because the Patriots scored 3 offensive touchdowns and they got a pick 6. So that defense they played. Chat saying they cried during the Texans game. Sorry, bro.
I mean,
Rough game.
I was believing in them too, man. I had them going to my
I
Super
thought they
Bowl.
were coming back at the half, bro. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, they got some momentum, they're moving. But CJ Stroud, it's I don't want to say it's time to have that conversation because I know they've made the playoffs the last 3 years. But they're still the only team that hasn't made it past the divisional in the NFL history. And they've been around for 20 years. So that's just the thought. But
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, he has not been able to play well in the cold at all. He's similar to the Tua Tagovailoa in a sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It was a tough game for CJ Stroud. I feel for him, but he's got to play better. He's got to be smarter.
Yeah, I think not having Nico Collins definitely hurt them a
Yeah,
lot.
that was a big loss. Christian Kirk stepped up though.
He did. But Nico Collins, I mean, without him, they really didn't have an offense. Dalton Schultz didn't do jack. I mean, I don't think he did at least. And CJ Stroud, like you said, had like a benching moment, a Bryce Young moment where he might be getting benched going forward. Now he's probably not because I mean he's still what in his third year.
There were people calling for Davis Mills to go in at the half.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that CJ Stroud earned himself on the hot seat. If you want to say the offensive line got a spot, CJ Stroud's spot on the hot seat for quarterback moving forward, you can say that because their offensive line sucked. But what's new with their offensive line? We've seen this year after year.
We've known this.
We know that their offensive line sucks and that it's probably always gonna suck. So I don't know. I mean, props to the Patriots, man. Their pass rush. I don't know what I'm watching with their pass rush. I don't know what they did in the postseason with their pass rush, but their pass rush is completely different from what I've seen all season. Their defense looks elite. It just does. So I mean, I don't really got much to say other than they pretty much got a free ticket to the Super Bowl practically with the Broncos backup in. So
yeah, and I will say this: Jarrett Stidham, he's got something to play for. The Patriots drafted him. He was Tom Brady's backup for a few years. So he's got something to play for. So I'm not ruling out a guy who's got something to play for. But everything is favoring New England, and New England's only favored by 4.5. So I think that's an interesting note. But
yeah,
let's move on to one of the craziest games I've seen. The Rams beat the Bears in overtime. I posted my reaction to the Caleb Williams touchdown on Shorts. We got over 1,000 views. It was awesome, but absolutely crazy. I mean, this was a great game all around. A little slow offensively, but it's the cold, man. The offense always moves a little bit slow. Now, I will say this. Caleb Williams proved he was clutch again, bro, with that throw. But then he got a little bit too antsy. He wanted to win that game. He made a throw that he probably shouldn't have thrown, and it was intercepted, and it lost him the game. Now, you could say DJ Moore wasn't doing his right route. He wasn't doing whatever. I really don't like the throw. I mean, there's 2 guys there. You probably have a lot better options than to throw it there. And I just feel like the Bears were in control. They converted on a 4th down at the 50-yard line. So if they didn't get that, the game was over practically in a sense.
Yeah.
But they got it, and they had all the momentum. They still had what, 5 minutes left? They could have taken their sweet time. They could have set up at the right spot where they wanted to kick a field goal, and they could have won it just like that. So I don't like the heavy aggressiveness when you have. I love being aggressive. Don't get me wrong, but it was a little too over aggressive for me, and it showed up. It proved that didn't work. If you look at the Rams, though, the Rams got absolutely kind of stuffed by this Bears defense that is not fantastic. And the Bears, I'll give them props. They stepped up the last 2 weeks. They played solid. But this
Mhm.
Rams offense has been freaking amazing all season long. And they balled out offensively against a Carolina defense that's fine. But the Rams didn't even have a great day against the Panthers offensively, and they still scored 30 some points. And I understand it was in the cold. Matt Stafford can't play well in the cold. He didn't play very well. He played fine, but uh, just an interesting note, especially when this Rams team is going on the road against a division rival who just let up 6 points
Yeah.
against another division rival.
Yeah.
So that's just something to look at. And I'm very excited to see this game because last time the Rams were playing in Seattle, they were in full control, and then the refs gave the Seahawks that 2 point conversion that kind of changed the game. So I'm interested to see how the Rams respond to that, and if the Seahawks can actually do something.
Yeah. I just want to say before I talk about this game, shout out to the thicker kicker, Joshua Carty, man. The dude has a BMI of 40, and he's still one of the clutchest kickers in the league. You gotta love it.
Yeah,
I mean, he was pretty clutch. I was impressed with him. I mean, but overall, well, I also want to give a shout out to Kobe Durant with that awesome coverage on Cole Kmet. I mean,
yeah,
that was that was perfect. I mean, you treat it like it's a fly ball in MLB and frickin' jump on it like that. So I don't know what that type of coverage was, but great throw by Caleb Williams.
yeah.
He did great. I will say Caleb Williams has earned my respect as a top 10
I agree.
quarterback.
I agree. I completely agree.
He's definitely good. I can see why they drafted him now. I thought that play was completely dead, but him holding on to
For
the ball
most, it
long enough,
is.
him holding on to the ball, which is usually his biggest downside, actually turned out to
Turned out to be
almost win them the
working.
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
so shout out Caleb Williams, shout out Kyle Monangai. Kyle Monangai had another good
A
game.
great postseason. Great postseason for Kyle Monangai.
Yeah, who would have thought that Kyle Monangai and Isaiah Pacheco would be running back you out of Rutgers? I mean, I wouldn't have thought that, but I just think that the Rams defense looked really bad. Like it just didn't look good. I don't know what this deal is with this Rams defense because it just has so much talent. It might be the secondary, but they got to do something different against Seattle
Yeah.
because well, I get they only gave up 10 points through like 3 quarters, but that meltdown of points is kind of inexcusable. So they got to get their crap together, and somebody's got to do something outside of Puka. I mean, it
Yeah.
was it was once again a one man army. I'm not going to really repeat this, but Stafford, if Puka gets taken out of the game against Seattle, you might as well chalk it already because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just not a good situation. So going into Seattle, I think the Rams definitely have the underhand, but we'll see what happens, man.
I agree.
Stafford's definitely doesn't deserve to be counted out. So
Never.
he's
Yeah.
he's earned
I agree.
he's earned my respect for that too. So
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for the games, but there was still some coaching hirings. And firings. We already covered Sean McDermott. Do you want to should we chat about it's Mr. Stefanski heading to the Falcons?
Sure. What do you want to start with that?
I want to hear the Falcons fans' thought on this first, bruh.
So my initial reaction when he got hired, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely thought that this was probably going to be another 7-10 season incoming. And while I still think that we're probably going to be 7-10 again, I do think that Stefanski brings a decent amount to the locker room. That is, he's a leader. Something that Raheem could never do is lead the team. Stefanski has a decent track record of being a respected and well-rounded coach. A lot of people like him in the league, so there's that for you. And he's an while his offensive playbook isn't the greatest, he's technically an offensive-minded coach. So that's definitely what the Falcons need is somebody that can cater the offense. And I mean, on paper, on paper I can see why they did it. On paper, I can see why they did it, but I just don't know if it's really going to translate because what he's had been demoted 2 times in his tenure for his offensive play call, and he's gotten rid of that twice. So definitely comes some concerns. And the Browns last year were 30th in offensive points scored. So he didn't do great last year at calling plays, but I don't know. That's why they have him. They just have him to take accountability and be the leader of the team, which was my main issue with Raheem Morris last year is he sucked at leading the team. So
Hmm.
I don't mind it, especially since this coaching pool is really weak this year, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
it's not John Harbaugh, it's not Clint Kubiak, but it was my third choice. So I
Yeah.
I mean I'll take it, I guess.
He'll take it. That's what the Falcon fan says. My initial reaction was, "What the frick?" Um, I was like, "Why?" Honestly. But I was thinking about it more often, and let us not forget this man has won the Coach of the Year award like twice, right?
Yeah,
So
yes, in Cleveland too. That's got to say
yeah,
something if
in
you win
Cleveland,
Coach of the
that's
Year
a
in
pretty
Cleveland.
difficult thing to do. Let's also not forget he was just maybe a couple plays away from taking down the Chiefs in Arrowhead in the playoffs
Yeah,
a few years ago with Baker Mayfield. So let's not forget that. So I definitely, I think it's going to be an interesting experiment. I think this is either going to work out really well or it's going to backfire really bad. So I think this is a good risk from Matt Ryan. Honestly, I really like it.
yeah.
The Just taking risks. That's what the Falcons have not really been doing. They've been taking the safer routes on a lot of things. So,
They've taken plenty of risks. Like we
well,
can't
yeah, with
ignore Kirk
Michael
Cousins
Penix,
and
and
Kirk
yeah,
Cousins'
yeah,
contract.
yeah, yeah. There's that. But I mean, this is a good move. I think it's gonna say yes. This is what we need, or this is what we don't need. So I think we'll find out a lot about the Falcons within the next 2 or 3 years,
Yeah,
um, and if Penix is the guy or not. So
yeah,
we'll see how they mesh together.
yeah. I also want to mention they have yet to hire their offensive coordinator, special teams
Mm.
coordinator. Now,
I saw you did get a D line coach, O line coach.
offensive line coach. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's good,
that's what it
but
was. I saw that.
Stefanski wants to bring in the offensive coordinator from Cleveland and the special teams
Oh,
coordinator,
guy.
and they were. I'm not gonna blame Stefan. I feel like Stefanski was probably the least the concerns on the coaching staff. I'm being honest, but those two guys in particular were probably the reason why the Browns really suck so bad. Especially the special teams coach. They were 30th in points allowed for special teams, and the Falcons were 32. So hiring somebody, an upgrade just to get 2 spots when you're bottom in the league,
Not great.
not great. So I I'm very worried that he brings in those 2 clowns, but we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hoping he doesn't, but
Yeah. um, what else? Should we talk about the Dolphins
Dolphins hiring,
hiring
sure, yeah, we
hiring
can
their
do
new
that.
coach? They hired the Packers defensive coordinator. The Packers defense was pretty good this year. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty solid. especially when they had Micah Parsons. When Micah Parsons kind of went down, everything kind of went downhill. But still, the defense was fine. I mean, you look at their wild card loss. I mean, they were just strapping down the Bears that first half. That first half, they were just giving it to them. And the second half, the offense just was not really existent, so the defense could only really do so much. And it was pretty bad management overall from Matt LaFleur, but uh, I've heard good things about this guy. Obviously, they had a pretty solid defense this year, so I'm interested to see what this means for a lot of for the Dolphins because to me, you didn't bring in like a really big name guy. So I'm
Yeah.
curious if this means if are they going to blow everything up? Are they going to trade Tua? I mean, I think they have to get rid of Tua anyway. No matter what happens, I think it's time to move on. Um, but could we see Tyreek Hill being gone? Probably. I think he'll be gone too. So I think it's an interesting hire. I think it could work out, especially on the defensive side. The defense of the Dolphins obviously was never like fantastic, but it was fine-ish, I guess. But obviously, when you had an offensive mind like Mike Daniel, obviously the focus is going to be more on the offense. So I think this is probably a solid hire. I guess I don't know
Yeah.
much about this guy, but interested to see what the Packers can do with their DC opening.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, we see what this guy can do with a full deck of cards. Like,
Hmm.
he was one of the best defenses in the league, but we've also seen what he can do with not a lot of talent, and he didn't do great. When the Packers defense really struggled towards the second half of the year, they were completely different than the first half of the year. And I get that was due to Parsons and a couple other guys, but you're going to the Dolphins, man, and the Dolphins don't have any talent on
Yeah.
defense. Their best two players are Chop Robinson and Storm Duck, and most people can't even name those players off the top of their head. So I think that I think that it's very questionable of a hire, considering he doesn't have the greatest of resumes with working with no talent, and Miami doesn't have any talent on defense. So I don't know. I just think that it could be really good. He could be like a Jeff Ulbrich and turn this defense into a
Yeah.
top 10, and y'all look like Bo Nix and Kirk Cousins.
Who is who?
Who's who?
Who is Bo Nix and who is Kirk Cousins? I'm
I don't
curious.
I don't see I mean, I don't see the similarities. I just because we're white, dude, doesn't
Just
doesn't
because we're white boys doesn't mean we look like Kirk Cousins.
okay.
Fernando Mendoza, bruh.
Anyways, I think that time will tell about this hire. I think it's better than Mike McDaniel. He'll probably lead the team better because Mike McDaniel couldn't lead the team unless he was faded. So there's that for you.
And even then, still.
And even then, still. But I don't know. Dolphins, you can only really get better too. So they did good. I will
Yeah.
say with the Dolphins, they did good to end the season.
Yeah,
I
they
give
they had
props
a
to them.
good little end of the stretch there.
Yeah,
Um, I will say I was pretty impressed with Quinn Ewers.
yeah,
Honestly, he that first game was a little shaky, but then those last couple games he played pretty well. So I'm interested to see if they keep him or if they move on and they get somebody else. But chat says is Tua staying. I would
it's
guess
still saying
probably not. But
no.
I saw today that's if they can't get a trade, uh, then they'll have to cut him, and then there's gonna be 90 mil in dead cap space. So
Yeah,
that's obviously not ideal. But
yeah. That's what happens when you sign a player to a big contract and they don't perform though. So
you sign a player with extreme CTE, and
that's
they don't play
yeah,
the way that
yeah.
So
What else we got?
there's got to be something. I saw today the that there's a maybe some things going on with the Giants GM and John Harbaugh. Apparently, the GM didn't have the final decision on hiring John Harbaugh. I don't know what that means, but I saw that. So I mean,
Yeah.
if we've learned anything from that Hard Knocks clip of him not even offering Saquon Barkley anything, it's that he's pretty bad at his job, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
really not good.
yeah.
So Giants, I mean, we'll see what the draft looks like for the Giants because I don't know what pick they have, but I'm interested to see what they can do
Yeah.
uh, fully around to surround Jackson Dart, Cam Scadaboo, and Malik Neighbors once he gets back. So
Yep.
I'm excited to see John Harbaugh coach that team, though. I think they're low key a sleeper team if they can make some moves this offseason.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about the Giants, though, is that they really didn't get a fair chance last year. They were, besides the Cardinals and 49ers, they're probably like the third most injured team in the league.
Yeah,
They have Malik Neighbors out, who is a top 10, top 5, arguably when he's
yeah,
healthy. He's that
yeah.
good.
I agree.
He's he was a home run of a pick a couple years ago. They got Cam Scadaboo, who ran himself into a brick wall, quite literally. So, but
Then he snapped his leg.
yeah, I mean, if I'm the Giants, I don't know where I really go at this draft. I would say get defense, but on paper, you've drafted way too many young defensive players, and
Yeah,
at some point, they all got to perform. Maybe not Abdul Carr because he's still probably taking naps, but during team meetings, I don't know if you
yeah.
saw that, but
I did.
I mean, it can only go like a lot of these teams. It can only go
Yeah.
up from here, honestly. And I mean, I expect their defense to be a lot better than what they were.
Yo, we lost you. Uh-oh. Yo, yo. We lost his audio, dang it. Yo, yo, yo. Yo. Yo,
Can you
yo,
hear
yo.
me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I
Yeah,
lost you there.
your brother just called me, so he's asking to play Dead by Daylight. So
Um, anything else on the table that we got?
for coaches, I know there's a lot of coaches stuff that we missed. I'm just trying to
There's
think. Just
Yeah,
trying to
there's still a
think.
lot of teams that
Robert Sala
haven't
to
found a
Titans.
coach
We
yet.
haven't we haven't talked about Sala
Yes,
to
there it
Titans.
is.
That's
There
the
it
last
is.
one. Okay.
That's the last one. Um, I don't know what to think of this if I'm being completely honest, because we saw what he did in New York, and it wasn't great.
It was also the Jets, though.
But it's also the Jets. So we'll see. He's got a quarterback now. He's got Cam Ward, who I really, really, really like.
Mm.
They got a really high draft spot coming up a couple months. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do. I will say from what I've seen, all the 49ers players thought he was great. So he's obviously a great leader, great locker room guy. Aaron Rodgers loved him. So I think that's a pretty important thing as well. So I think that's a decent hire.
Yeah.
But it's going to be one of those. Is he a good head coach or is he a bad head coach, or was it just the Jets? So
Yeah.
I think that's what it's going to come down to. Obviously, we saw what he did this year with San Francisco. He can coach a defense all day. So I think he's a great defensive coordinator. So we'll see what he can do with Tennessee. But I think the future's looking brighter now in Tennessee than it was a year ago.
Yeah. I think a complete opposite to the Packers, dude. With less talent, he coached better, in my
Yeah,
opinion, at least.
yeah,
And that's truly the signs of great coaches. I'm gonna go back to Jeff Ulbrich. Like the Falcons didn't have a ton of talent on defense. Grant, they have a lot of young players, but he managed to take that defense with a ton of young players, like one of the best in the league.
hmm
And Saleh, same thing. He had a bunch of, I wouldn't say like bunch of like
Bosa and
backups in,
Warner
but
out.
he had his rookie out, Michael Williams. He had his secondary out. I don't they weren't all out, but they were constantly injured throughout the year. So with less talent, he was able to perform. And you go to the Titans, which everybody takes a dump on the Titans roster, but they have a lot of like young players, low key,
Mhm.
except for wide receiver
The wide receiver, they need to
and skill
fix. The
position
wide receiver
players.
room needs they
Skill
need to
position
fix.
players, we might need to have a conversation about because they're doing nothing right when it comes to drafting skill position
Yeah.
players. Ever since getting rid of
What
Treylon
pick do they
Burks,
have? Do they have 3?
they might
2?
have three, but
Okay.
they have a couple of guys on defense. You still have Jeffrey Simmons, which I don't know how he's on the team, but you'll take it. He's a great player. You got a big guy from Texas. I can't remember his name. Tavondre Sweat. He was a first round pick a couple years ago. You got Adrian Key. Let's not forget you have L'Jarius Sneed too. So you haven't heard that name in a while, I bet.
That's been a that's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, so and they have their quarterback, which is probably the biggest position you need, quarterback and left tackle. So I mean, with how weird the AFC South is, with how the Colts
Fell
are up
apart,
there right
yeah.
now, with how the Texans are up there right now with CJ Stroud's future and their offensive line. Like the only legit team in this division is the Jags. So, I mean, all you only have to worry about the Jags, and if you can get past the Jags, that's an automatic 4 seed. So, Titans. A lot of these a lot. I've said this all day long, saying that all these teams can only go up. I generally think that the Titans could triple their wins and win them out
Yeah,
this year. Go
yeah.
from
I
what,
mean
3 wins to 9 wins, 8, 9 wins. I
yeah.
generally think they get 8 or 9 wins.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that we watched that Titans Broncos game week 1,
Yeah,
and Cam Ward was throwing lasers.
yeah,
He was darting up against that Broncos defense. It's just a shame that his wide receivers can't catch for frick. So, I think you gotta get him some help on the wide receiver end and the
yeah,
running back end, and Titans sky's the limit, I think, in the next 2 or 3 years.
yeah,
And you get help on that defensive side with Salah, boom. So,
yeah,
I think we could potentially be seeing what we're seeing with the Patriots this year with Mike Vrabel.
yeah. And I also want to mention too that his only skill position player, Calvin Ridley, was out for at least
Yeah,
half of the year, and
yeah,
Chigakonkwo. I think Chigakonkwo was out, but so you get players back from injury on top of that, and on top of your third overall pick, if you want to trade that or not, which you might want to trade that at this point. For I mean, there's going to be a desperate team for a quarterback for Chambliss. I don't know if he'll go 3, but I mean,
yeah. And
but
I'm interested to see where he goes, how he does in combine stuff like
yeah, there
that.
might be a
So
desperate person for Ty Simpson too. He's not probably going to go
yeah,
3,
Ty
but
Simpson. I don't think he'll go very high.
I like Tennessee a lot. I do. So that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got too. But still, a lot of teams don't have a head coach.
Yep.
Cardinals, Raiders, Bills.
Bills,
Who
Steelers,
else?
Cardinals, Raiders,
Steelers.
Bills, Steelers, Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens. Wow, I'm
We got
interested
the
to see
big
what they're
teams
gonna do.
too. Like
And
you got
the Browns. The Browns haven't hired anyone yet either, have they?
no, they haven't. So
No.
3 teams from the
The
AFC
AFC
North that
North
need a head coach.
and Zach Taylor is
Should be
still
4.
available
Should
somehow.
be
Should be
4.
4. It should be 4,
But
but all
Zach
right.
Taylor will get fired after week 5 if he goes 0-4 again. So
Yeah, that's
he's
yeah.
not staying. If they go 0-4, I will
Again.
bet money he's out of the door.
Yeah, sheesh.
He's the hottest. He's probably the hottest on
He's gonna
on
yeah,
the
he's coming into this season, him or Todd Bowles.
Todd, don't get me started on Todd Bowles,
Don't
bro.
get me started on Todd Bowles, bro. Don't get me going on Todd
Uh,
Bowles, bro.
uh,
Holy crap, bro.
he completely after Brady retired, he completely turned this team into poverty, bro. Ever since
Yes.
Brady retired, Brady practically coached the team in Tampa Bay. Just think about it. Brady
Yeah.
coached the team, and Todd Bowles is just sitting
Yeah.
there with his freaking gut sticking out, bro. Like,
Yeah,
like
you're right. You're right, bro. Yeah, Todd Bowles and Zach Taylor coming into this next season on the hot
yep.
seat, the hottest on the seats. So, yeah,
I
man,
would say Todd Bowles could work for the Storm, but that they're not around anymore.
they don't exist anymore.
So that's that.
He could come coach a high school team or something, bro. as a defensive coordinator for a high school team.
Coach for the freaking Washington Warriors.
The old guy. Yeah, they need some help, bro. They need help. Yeah, them are O'Gorman, bro.
All right.
Guy. But that's all we got, man. NFL offseason's approaching, but we still have 3 more games left this season. We might be trying to go live for the NFC Championship or AFC, depending on whichever one works. But I don't know if we're gonna get anything out tomorrow or Thursday, but we will definitely get something out Friday and
Yeah.
Saturday previewing these games, predicting them, because we got one game that's probably going to be really, really good, and another game where you just really don't know what's going to happen because the other team's got their backup. So interested for that. And then next week, we're going to be trying to get every single day content for the Super Bowl. Actually, no, just kidding. Not next week, because next week's Pro Bowl week. The week
Yeah,
after that.
we're not
talking
don't
about
really
the
care
Pro
about
Bowl.
the
No one
Pro
gives a
Bowl that
frick about
much,
the
bro.
Pro Bowl. We can talk about the NBA trade deadline or something like that, because that's coming up soon. But the week of the Super Bowl, we're going to try to go live Monday through Sunday and talk about all the stuff that's going on.
Don't forget about March Madness too. We're getting
March Madness
we
coming
said
up.
6 hours of content, or at least I said that. But 5 minutes every game, every 68 games, 5 minutes on the clock. Let's go.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it, I believe. But yeah, that's all we got for you boys. Be sure to like and subscribe, man. We're getting to 200 before the stream started. I checked. We need 56 more subs left till 200. So help us get to 200 subs by the Super Bowl, because that would be awesome. We're about 2 weeks away. So yeah, it'd be great. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.